Hi everybody, welcome to the station. I am Beatrice Marse, the human being or a human being making music. I know I'm not the only one, and I certainly won't be the last one, just put it that way. I came back to talk to you about my album called Rebirth. Said I was going to do it, and then I did not, and then at the beginning of the year, to tell you the truth, on the 1st of January, I said to myself, maybe you should come back to talk about this album a little bit more, because there's a story behind it. So, and the story is not only only on the title Rebirth. It is what it is, and it's a real meaning to me, and it's the one of the 2 tracks in English on the album. The second track is called Crazy About Your Love, but Rebirth is the title of the album, and really, as I said previously, Rebirth is a follow-up to my first album, which is called Delirium Tremens, and really, as I was saying, on Delirium Tremens, I wanted to put things behind me, certain things behind me, and with Rebirth and the title, I'm just rediscovering myself on this album, and realizing certain things along the way, and as I said, it's really as I'm saying actually on the song called Rebirth, it's really a process. I was going through a process. I'm still going through it, but it actually weighs less heavily on me, if you can understand what I'm saying. And so why am I saying that? It's the story behind those 2 albums, and it's very much true on Delirium Tremens. It's a bit better on Rebirth. Is that actually it's a process, because I've recorded all these songs an hour at a time. I've got a home recording studio, which is great. But the thing is, I wasn't physically able to do more than an hour of recording at a time, and it's a process. So it was actually a very painful process on Delirium Tremens, and I have to say that on this song, that particular song, Delirium Tremens, which is in French, I've just used the Latin words, and on the 4th verse at the end, I'm saying j'ai mal, which is I'm in pain, and virtually I was in pain. That's the reason why I couldn't record more than an hour. So I've actually done, and the way I was working was taking almost an hour to put the ideas into places, the musical ideas, if you see what I mean. Then an hour to maybe record the vocals, and then taking another hour to actually do a final mix of each song. But this is where I was working, and this is where I was also working on Rebirth, even though it was just a little bit better for me in term of the level of pain, if you see what I mean. So really, it's a process, and as I said, if you've been on my website, what I'm saying is that in this album, I'm discovering myself somehow, and very much rediscovering myself, and I think the main thing about it that kind of surprised me is that in the situation I was in, I could have been very much bitter, very bitter, and I discovered in writing all the songs that I wasn't actually as bitter as I thought I was going to be. And then I realized that I was actually compassionate somehow, and the emotion of love was still present in me, even though I thought it was gone away forever. So that's what it's all about with that album called Rebirth. So as usual, I'm gonna finish there. As usual, you can find the recording of this, the video recording of this podcast on my YouTube channel called Beatrice Marse. And as usual, thank you for listening to this podcast.